Hello, divine soul, welcome. Today we're talking about spirituality in this series of overcoming the loss of a companion animal. And I see spirituality is essential to be able to navigate that. It helps us so much, even for the most skeptical people that I've known. And spirituality is not the same as religion. There are people who follow a religion and find themselves there and develop, connect with their spirituality in that way. But also, some of us do not have a religion and still we are able to develop our spirituality. However, I cannot separate too much spirituality from meditation because even praying or going for a walk or gardening, as I see are ways of meditating, of being present, of grounding yourself, of breathing and working with your mind, with your consciousness. So meditation and spirituality work together, and meditation works very much to develop your spirituality, to reconnect with your spirituality. The meditations that we have here, they all have energy healing and cleansing, transmutation, alchemization, all that is for the highest good of those who connect with it. I suggest that you do your meditation daily, especially in this time, because it will help you to navigate it better, to understand, to find answers and support that you need in this challenge moment of dealing with the loss of a companion animal, an animal that is part of your family and so important to you. Um, Something that I would like to share is that meditation helped me a lot, and right away, this is something that I do every day already. But since the transition of Honey, I started making some time daily to meditate and develop my communication with her. That was something that I did want to do, and we can talk about that in more details further down. I wanted to not only receive signs or dream with her, but actually be able to communicate with her. And I don't even remember how many days, but it was just a few days after she transitioned that I made the time for that. What I suggest you to do is to journal and meditate. Journaling about how you're feeling. We're going to talk about that in the next video. How you're feeling, because that's going to help you to process the emotions. Allow yourself to feel the emotions. To write about the signs that you're receiving. Not only to register them, but to process everything. And there are three things that I learned with my guides doing this daily work to communicate with Honey and elevate my vibration. The first thing is that many of our animals, they come to our lives to help us with specific things. They are like our part of our support team, and they are so evolved and they have a higher frequency. For us that do energy healing, unless an animal is ill or they are going through something, you're gonna see that a healthy animal, they do not need an energy session. Like that, they look at you and you're like, hey, do you want an energy session? Like, why? Like, my energy is pretty better than yours. What are you talking about? So they already have this good high vibe energy. And I was only able to give energy sessions to animals that were actually ill, you know. Otherwise, they're like, I'm fine, I got it. And that's another thing. To be able to communicate and receive their signs and perceive their signs, we need to be vibrating in a good energy, in a higher frequency. So they the way that my guides told me is that we have these soul contracts with some of these animals, especially the ones that are the most challenged for us to say goodbye. It's somehow a soul contract that we have, and they come to our lives for many specific reasons, and they come to earth also to have their own experience, but part of their missions is to assist us on something that we're going through. And once we master that thing, they're ready to leave us and to go, because they helped us to accomplish it. They maybe were with us in a hardship, in a challenge moment, or when we're implementing something in our lives or learning something specific. And so if you feel devastated, you know that there's a good chance that you have a soul contract with this animal. And try to do some inner work to see what you have changed, what you have implemented, what you accomplished in your life, because there is a very good chance that your animal came to your life to help you with this specific thing, and the animal did its job and it's time to go back home. This is another thing that I usually do and say for everybody that do the transition, going back home, because I do not believe that we die. Like the body dies, but the soul doesn't die. So we go back home and we go back to be at peace and to flow in this high vibe energy. So do a self-assessment to figure out what this animal came to help you. With me, it was clear after Honey did her transition that she helped me to do one of the hugest quantum jumps in my life of embodying and embracing my sovereignty, my free will, my freedom, and with that, my confidence. So it was a huge shift, and it's still unbelievable, or believable, but big for me to process how much it was, yeah, special. The other thing that I've learned is that um, we need to be in a good energy to perceive this. Like I told you, they have higher energy than us. So if we are vibrating in a lower energy, a lower vibration of feeling sad, or focusing too much on the loss, we might not be able to perceive their signs, to receive their communication, because the energy is too different. But not only that, when they send us a sign, and I do believe that that goes for animals, but also humans that did the transition, when they send us a sign, I do believe that if we receive that sign and start to feel bad and sad, they may not send us that many signs anymore, because they do not want to make anything that makes us feel bad. So it's important to, if you ask for a sign, to receive the sign and try to work your energy to look for gratitude, to flow with joy for the sign that was received, for knowing that your animal or loved one is okay. And they are sending you love, they are sending you signs, they are with you. That said, when you ask for a sign, you might, or to dream with them, you might ask for something specific and that might happen, but it might not, because we're talking about the divine. So when and how that's going to happen, it's beyond our control. You might receive signs with feathers, or seeing specific animals, or even seeing the name of your animal anywhere a little more often than usual. They send a lot of signs with technology or rainbows. There are so many different ways, but the technology is something very easy for them to navigate, and you might be seeing random things popping up for you on social media, for example, with the name of your animals, or that it was something that, you know, a connection that you had with your animal. So be aware of the signs, and when you receive them, try to uplift your energy. Allow yourself to feel the feelings. We don't want to ignore them. That's not healthy. We want to allow the emotions to flow and be acknowledged, and feel them, so you know you are able to move through these emotions, not numbing yourself with any kind of substance that would numb not feeling the emotions. It's really important to feel them, to be able to navigate and go through, but also looking for the balance of finding a way of shifting your energy and emotion as soon as you can, to look for gratitude for their lives, to celebrate that they achieved, they accomplished their purpose, and to celebrate them and to flow with gratitude and love and harmony with them. And more signs you are going to receive. But there is another thing too, and this is big. Every time that I would feel really, really, really sad, and feel like the loss of honey, that was like, whoa, what's going on? This is big. My team would tell me like, don't you see what's going on? And what I've learned is that these big times that I would feel so much the loss and the sadness was because she was making herself present, and I could feel her presence. But because I was vibrating still in the loss, it was really recent after her transition. I could not vibrate in the gratitude, in the love yet. And just the fact that my guides were telling me, she's there, she's with you, and that's why you're feeling her loss, because you are focusing too much on the matter. Let go of the matter. It's a new level of relationship you're having with her now. You asked for the communication. You are receiving that. You're receiving the signs. But if you are too much in the loss feeling, the sadness, that might not be coming as much, because nobody wants to make you sad. So that was a huge shift for me, and that's why I feel so important to share with you. Those moments that the sadness come very heavy were an opportunity to shift how I was perceiving them, because that was actually her presence. That was her way of making herself present, and I was feeling her presence, but because I could not see or touch her or smell her, I would go on the loss instead of the gratitude of like, whoa, that dog is making herself known by me. So allow your mind to process that if that resonates with you. Um, and more you are gonna feel her presence even more. And one example that I have is, even at some days ago I was recording one of these videos, and Honey would love to meditate with me. She would spend hours doing meditation. She would snore when I was holding sessions or doing personal meditations for myself, or personal energy sessions. This would be her spot as well. She would always be here with me until she got sick. And my husband arrived and he looked at something and he was like, oh, that reminds me of Honey. I miss her so much. And I was like, ooh, if you had not mentioned, I would not even remember she wasn't here, because I've been feeling her presence very much. And then he said that she was like, oh, probably she's with you. She would love to be in your sanctuary meditating with you. I bet she's there right now. And that's why you don't miss her. And that's when I noticed that I was able to do the shift of not feeling her loss so much, and being able to enjoy her presence and her company. Not saying that didn't happen again to feel the sadness. Like we talked before, that comes in waves. So do not judge yourself if you were able to navigate and feel like the presence and celebrate, and instead of the loss and the sadness. But then a wave of sadness hits you. You're human, you're navigating something huge. Just allow the emotions to flow, And as soon as you can remind yourself, like, oh, it's her presence, so let me take some time and breathe and enjoy and allow this door, this window of the communication to open. But we're gonna go a little deeper on the communication for those who are ready and willing to. And I'll see you next video. Please make sure you leave your comments, feedbacks, and insights in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you didn't yet. And give this video a like if you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.